This is Digital Poetry Analysis by Braden Reeve. Against Distance by Trey Moody. I don't know who needs to hear this other than me, but the moon will never leave you. You were good enough for the moon, and the moon is good enough for you. Because you are here and the moon is there every time the moon is supposed to be there. And isn't it interesting when we want to show up for each other and say we are counting on it, and what else but numbers teach us we are each one? And what else but the moon teaches us we are each many? So when you try counting your remaining moments with the moon that will never ever leave you, give up. Even the moon inches a little more distant each year. I've heard grief is only love with nowhere to go, but then you look up. Title explanation. The title Against Distance symbolizes the struggle between bonds and relationships. When things are separated, it can make things feel harder. He is showing hope about how the moon will never leave you, even though it's getting further away each year. Unfamiliar words and terms. Some words or terms in this poem may cause confusion if you do not understand them completely. Distance, a space or gap between people, places, or things. In the poem, it might refer to physical space or emotional separation. Against, opposed to or resisting something. It shows the speaker's desire to fight or overcome the idea of separation. Fugitive, someone who is running away or escaping, often from something dangerous or unpleasant. This word might symbolize something fleeting or elusive in the poem. Dwell, to live in or focus on something, often for a long time. In poetry, it can also mean lingering on an idea or feeling. Imprint, a mark or lasting impression left by something. This could symbolize how memories or experiences leave lasting effects on us. Unfamiliar words and terms. Grief is only love. This is an example of figurative language as well as unfamiliar terms and words. In the poem, grief is only love with nowhere to go means that grief comes from still loving someone or something you've lost. Since they're not there anymore, all that love has no place to go, and that's what makes it so painful. The line, but then you look up, shows a moment of hope, like realizing you can still move forward even when you're sad. It's a way of saying grief and love are still connected, but you don't have to stay stuck in the sadness forever. More figurative language. The poem uses other figurative language that adds depth to his message. For example, it might describe distance or separation in a way that feels alive, almost like a barrier or an invisible wall, which is an example of personification. This makes the idea of distance feel more emotional and real. Another symbolic element could be the use of looking up, which might represent the sky or universe as a sign of endless possibility or connection beyond the physical world. These techniques help show how emotions like grief and hope are universal and connect us to something bigger. Overall message. The poem Against Distance is about trying to stay close to someone or something even when there's separation like distance or loss. It shows how grief is connected to love and how hard it can be when you lose someone you care about. The poet uses metaphors like comparing grief to love that has nowhere to go to help explain these feelings. The title shows that the poem is about fighting against being apart, and the imagery, like looking up, gives hope that things can get better. All of these parts work together to show that even when we lose someone, the love we feel for them stays with us and helps us move forward. Thank you.